sultry wow. And the Who coming to town in September. They're playing Blossom. I'm Ravenna Miceli. And we already started Instagramming live on oWOW's Instagram. Marc Lee Shannon is in the studio. Hey, babe.
Hey, good to be here.
Good
Thank
to
you for
have
having
you
me.
here. I know you were stuck on 480s.
I know.
He wasn't really late, but you kept calling and saying, "Hey, I'm sorry. 480 has just been a nightmare."
I know. I'm a responsible former minor rock star.
Yeah.
I like to let people know when I'm going to be
He
late.
knows, because certain rock stars don't show up, don't
That's
tell
right.
us.
That's
Not even
right.
rock stars, but
That's
certain
right.
guests. They're like, "Where are you?"
I know.
I can be there in 20 minutes. Well, you were supposed to be here 20 minutes ago, so
I know.
we really appreciate it when you're prompt. And most people who come to the oWOW studios are.
Right.
I'm Ravenna Miceli. He's Marc Lee Shannon. We are Instagramming live, and we are also streaming, of course, on oWOW.radio. People are very excited that you're in the studio with me.
I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited about what you're doing for artists like myself, playing original music. I mean, it's so cool. I was telling a friend of mine that, this area is so rich in heritage for music. And I lived in LA, or if I go to New York, you'd hear all these great singer-songwriters, but man, they're all around Northeast Ohio right now.
Yeah,
This
they
is
are.
such a condensed area of great
Been like
great
that for a
musicians.
while.
Yeah.
Hence, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city.
I think when I was living in LA, I heard a lot of scuttlebutt about that, and I said, "You're just not from that part of town. You don't understand
I'm not
it."
from here.
Yeah.
So I came from Boston, and I have Connecticut, New York roots.
Right.
When I came to Cleveland, I was blown away, and I realized I better be really up on my game, because the Cleveland music audience is par excellence. You cannot pull anything over on them. This is a very hip place musically. We're just very low key about it. So that's why oWOW is bringing it to the world, man.
And what you're doing is so important, because if I remember correctly, from what I understand, my father, of course, worked for Capitol Records back in the day.
Didn't know that.
And yeah,
The Leaning
Tommy
Tower.
Shannon used to
Hey,
on
oh my
Camelot
God,
Records.
that was your father?
Yeah, And
no.
so, toothpaste, cigar, the whole thing, But, it is a fact
He's a
that
famous name at Capitol.
more records were sold per capita in this Northeast corridor than anywhere else. And if you wanted to break a record, you really had to make it happen in Cleveland.
I think WMMS The Buzzard had a lot to do with
It
that,
really
right?
did.
Yeah,
It
back in
did.
the
But
day.
as a touring act, I mean, you really
Yeah.
had to start and go through Michigan, Detroit, come through Cleveland,
Yes.
and Akron, Canton, Youngstown were also
Oh
very
yeah,
important
the
markets.
whole area
And
here,
then
the
you worked
region.
your way back to New York City. And
By
that
the way,
was
the guy who
really-
did The Buzzard, John Gorman,
Right.
is the guy behind oWOW.radio.
Yeah, I did know that.
But
you
we're
know.
here to talk about you. So,
Yeah.
where'd you go to high school? You're an Akron native.
So I was there were two things I was interested in when I was growing up, and that was music and sports, right?
Okay.
So I played sports at Akron, St. Vincent, St. Mary's.
How about that,
And
LeBron?
so I actually played basketball. Now this is back in the day, okay, when the tube socks were high and the gym shorts were high, and the tube socks also came up right below
I
the knee.
know,
Those were the
those
days.
Catholic schools.
I know.
I went to
I know.
one myself, so
I know,
I had to
you know.
kneel so the uniform touched the floor.
And you hear a lot of stuff about it, but really, mostly, I think I got a pretty good education.
Oh, yes,
it was
excellent
motivated
education.
by sincere fear. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh, yeah,
but,
definitely.
But I did the work, and I learned how to do the lonely work.
Oh, I know. Oh,
And
yeah.
If you were going to get your jobs done, you had to do it, and that
Yeah.
carried through, I think.
And you started playing guitar then too?
I did, and I realized pretty quickly that the best I was ever going to do was probably be the next to last guy on the end of the bench playing basketball. I had a good outside shot, but I didn't have any wheels, so I couldn't run real fast.
yeah. Well,
But I
you're
was
tall
also on the
enough.
golf team. I loved golf. Golf was something I played a lot as a kid, but guitar was something I just resonated with, and I liked doing things where I could be alone. I guess that's just the nature of
Yeah.
my personality set, and I just
You've written
loved it.
some wonderful songs, I have to say, and I knew you were in Michael Stanley and the Resonators band, but I didn't realize you were with him for how long?
Well, my first record with Michael happened around this time. It was coming up for air, and he was coming back from his heart attack, and it was his first really solo record, and that was 1995. So it's been 24 years, and I've done 22 records so far to date with Michael.
Incredible. How
Yeah.
many solo albums do you have, Marc Lee Shannon?
Marc Lee Shannon got his first solo record produced by Michael Stanley in 1996, and it was a gift. It really was. And I will always be in debt to Michael. People ask me,
He's a good guy.
what's he like? And I
Yeah.
said, there's just no angles working, you know?
Yeah.
Always, the check's always cashed and the deli tray has the good roast beef. So what can you say? What else can you say? And
Oh, you're
it's
funny.
just always been different. But, you know, the thing about working with Michael is that it is a premier gig, and you really do have to do the lonely work and make sure you're there. There's not a lot of rehearsal. For instance, one of the last shows we had, several days before the show, we got a song list with a bunch of songs we hadn't played. And you get one shot at rehearsal, and that's sound check. And we run it once, and you better know your part. You know what I mean?
Pretty
So,
proficient. So he's very confident in his band.
well, yeah,
For
that,
himself,
and
yeah.
you don't want to be the guy that doesn't show up and not have your side of the stage.
Oh yeah, that's
You
for
just
sure.
don't, you know.
Yeah.
So
you're,
always
you're
worry
out.
about it.
You're out now.
You know,
Blink of
and
an
I,
eye.
and
Yeah.
I never worry about that because I'm really good at practicing rehearsing, but the things I worry about are the things like stuff going down, gear, you know, that you can't predict, you know what I mean?
I know.
But we don't want to bring that motion
You
out
mean
of it.
you mean like the time at the music box you played and I tripped over the cord and
You know, I thought you
and dismantled the microphone.
I thought you poetically danced across the stage.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Spoken like a true troubadour.
Yeah.
But you have so many great songs you're playing now, and you put an album out. What was the album
Right.
called?
The album is
If you
called
listen?
Walk This Road. It was produced by Ryan Humbert, and it features, you know, some of the cream of the crop. It's got Ed and John from the Vindies playing on it.
Yeah.
It's got Kevin from the Speed Bumps. We had John and Bree, the singers from Welsh Lee
Oh,
Arms.
love them. Yeah.
Ray and Russ
All
from
good
Ray
people.
Flanagan and the Authorities,
yeah.
and it was done by Jimmy Stewart, who has got Superior Sound. And you know, we just had a bunch of people come together, and we did it old school style. Everybody had charts. You know, I went to music school, so you know, we're all
Really, where'd you go?
I went to a school that you would know by the teachers more than the name of the school. And the school was called the Guitar Institute of Technology now, but now it's called the Musicians Institute. But
Here
it's
in town?
No, it's in Hollywood.
Oh,
it's
Hollywood,
famous.
California.
It's famous because the instructors are all those guys that are in that film, The Wrecking Crew, Tommy Tedesco and all those guys. Those guys were my teachers.
That's
And,
just
you know,
incredible. No wonder why you're so good.
Well, you know what? I was one of those kids that was a good performer, but I didn't have a lot of training when I got there. So I had to really brush up on my harmony theory and reading music. And I spent literally, I had an
Hal
apartment.
Blaine, the Wrecking Crew.
I know, I had an
God.
apartment one street door down from the Grumps Theater, and I literally carved out in the closet because I didn't have any clothes. Right, I made a little practice room, and I was in there 12 hours a day practicing, trying to catch up because
That's incredible.
I had no life. I lived on one slice of Two Guys pizza a day, you know, and I was that earnest kid walking down the street, you know, and I wanted to have a shirt that said no spare change. You know, but
You're funny.
I know, I'm
and
a funny
you're
guy.
Funny.
I'm a
You're
funny guy.
really
You know.
killing me
But
here.
you know, it was a great experience to be 20 years old and to be living in LA. You know what I mean?
And hook up with the Wrecking Crew.
You know, and they were
just one of the best session
and
bands
they-
ever. They
and
played
they-
on everything.
They were so kind to me, and I think they sensed that, you know, I was all in. Right? I had to bet the whole farm. And there was 120 kids that went there from all over the world, and you know, a lot of us stuck around, and I ended up working. I probably played on 100 records. But in those days, because the way things worked, you know, you'd get called as a session guy, you wouldn't know who the artist was. You'd be working for a producer,
Yeah.
and you'd have a chart, and you'd say, "Okay, everybody, we're going to sound like Donna Summer." Okay, you know, and you'd try to be bad A at that. You know, what
That's
I mean?
pretty extraordinary.
And whatever you wanted, whatever they wanted, you would do.
Well, we've got more time for your stories on Wednesday,
Awesome.
the
Yeah.
26th, this coming Wednesday at the Music Box. You're bringing your band, right?
I'm going to bring a trio, an acoustic trio. It's going to be
that's
pretty
gonna
cool.
be great.
Yeah,
I can't
yeah,
wait.
yeah.
So the Music Box, it is our free Wednesday oWOW happy hour,
Right.
sponsored by Yingling Beer and Scene Magazine and the beautiful Music Box. The acoustics there are
Right,
fabulous.
right.
An intimate room. So everybody come, just, you know, make a table reservation, musicboxcle.com. Mark will be performing. And the doors open at 5. You will be on between 6 and 7, 1 hour of Marc Lee Shannon's music. Give us a taste
Okay.
of what we can expect.
Before I start, I just want
on
to say that
Wednesday.
I have this habit working with musicians that I don't like to rehearse too much. I send out charts and MP3s, and
Okay.
so Marc Lee Shannon is known as the unscripted performer. Okay, so
You're
everybody,
making me nervous.
No, everybody's a top shelf guy who can all read and everything, but we like to play it as it comes that night. So the guys all know the arrangements.
Oh,
but-
wow, I'm
but
so
I
excited.
But I might be doing things a little differently. Sometimes I don't
We
even
like
know. But
that.
here's a song.
Okay,
for you.
everybody, so
Go.
now you have to come.
took you by the hand before the night was over. You were the better plan. You were the life of every party, the kiss that closed time, breaking hearts and burning bridges, one glass at a time. Friends like you ain't nothing new. Life in Asia, lies falling apart. No telling what to do. Friends like you. Empty pockets from a gambler's luck and a loser's pride. Every day was one step closer to living your life. Another bottle filled with poison around the pain. Another chance to hold your head up while going down in flames. Friends like you ain't nothing new. Life in measure, lies falling apart. No telling what to do with friends like you. Nobody talks about you just 20 times a day. Another lesson learned the hard way. So my best that way. 'Cause friends like you ain't nothing new. Life in measure, lies falling apart. No telling what to do with friends like you. Friends like you ain't nothing new. Life in measure, lies falling apart. No telling what to do with friends like you. With friends like you. With friends like you.
Marc Lee Shannon, everybody. What a fantastic song. We're playing that tune, Friends Like You.
We appreciate
It sounds like such a kumbaya song, but that's not really what it's all about.
No, it isn't. But you know what? It's if you know my story, you know that I'm not ashamed to admit I'm a recovering artist. I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict.
We're glad you're here and
me
recovered.
too, man.
I got a
Me
lot of
too.
friends in recovery,
Me too.
thank
And,
God.
and,
You saw the light.
The idea of living life sober, it's really not big of a deal. People say to me, well, you know, Mark, how do you go into those bars, you know, when you don't drink? And I'm like, well, I'm also diabetic. When I go to Cracker Barrel, I'm not jonesing all over the peach cobbler. I'm not calling the cobbler man at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
I know it's not good for me.
Yeah. And it's
So I don't
mental.
do
And
it.
you know what? People in recovery, I have to say, you all look so much better and younger.
I know. I
So
feel good
if you're
too.
vain
Yeah.
at all, that might be a good road for you.
Well,
yeah, that's great.
It's been a blessing to live, you know, just, you know, one day at a time. And the meaningful part for me is to be able to come out and say to other people, hey, you know what, it is a disease and you can get well. You do
Absolutely.
have to have treatment.
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm just really happy to be around. I mean, everything every day just gets better.
It's
I'm
a
just
gift.
so happy to be there.
Well, you're very gifted, and that's what we can expect to hear on Wednesday with Marc Lee Shannon.
Yeah, come on
It's
out,
going to be
everybody.
fabulous at the Music Box. Come on out. Well, you know what I love about it? First of all, they have a deck. We're right on the water, Flats West Bank. The acoustics in that room and
know.
just the intimacy
I know.
of the supper club. It's pretty cool.
Well, the first
and
time
it's
I
laid
played
back.
with the Vindies and you guys were there, I was so nervous. I was all sweaty and stuff. Yeah, because you know, I mean, you know,
I'm the one who tripped on the stage.
I wouldn't ask you to be immodest, but you know, I mean, you guys to me are represent to me, you know, everything I always wanted to come back to Ohio and do. I always wanted to do original music again. I always wanted to play, you know, be on the radio. I always wanted to have my music played on the radio by people like you and John
Discerning
and Steve.
people.
And you know, I mean, to me growing up, that was the prize. It was the rainbow. So
Well,
thank you so much for
you're very
allowing
welcome.
me to do that.
Thank you for your proficiency, and hey, thanks to the Wrecking Crew,
Yeah,
where you got
yeah.
your chops
Yeah,
in LA.
yeah.
That's
Those
pretty
guys were
hip,
amazing.
Mark.
They were
Well,
amazing.
we'll see you Wednesday. Doors open at the Music Box at 5. There's somebody who's looking in the window here at the 78th Street Studios. And Wednesday, Music Box, 5 to 7 o'clock. You play for 1 hour between 6 and 7. So it's a
Absolutely.
free Oh Wow Happy Hour concert. We are thrilled that you're going to be there, Marc Lee Shannon.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you
Thank you so
for
much.
your talent and your honesty. Steve Pappas is going to be your host, so we'll find out more about you on
Cool.
Oh Wow. This is Amos Lee. Thanks, babe.